I want to demonstrate how to use Twitter to enhance your Super Bowl experience. First, we're going to watch the trending topics closely. And number two, we're going to monitor hashtags and include hashtags in our posts. Before I take a look at Twitter, though, I want to talk about why we would use Twitter to enhance our Super Bowl experience. The first reason is that during the Super Bowl, Twitter will experience a huge amount of traffic. And so being on Twitter at that time and really monitoring the conversations about the Super Bowl will demonstrate the potential of Twitter, which may have interest to educators or really any number of fields in terms of, fields that are interested in communication and marketing or 21st century tools. The second reason is because if you already engage in conversations during the Super Bowl and you think that enhances your experience, this is an opportunity to engage in online conversations with a global audience. So that's why. But we're going to come on back to how. We're going to watch trending topics closely, monitor hashtags, include hashtags. So here we go. Back to Twitter. From my homepage, I can scroll down and look at trends in the United States. So you can always change which trends you're watching, but by watching the United States trends, we'll probably see the most interesting tweets about Twitter. So right now, we can notice things like the Super Bowl is the number one trend. This is a hashtag because it has a pound sign next to it. The Puppy Bowl is the second biggest trending hashtag. And then down here we start to see some character strings that are not hashtags. And Bob Costas is a name that's showing up in a ton of tweets right now. The interesting thing about looking at names here is that when a player makes a big play or makes a bad play or a disputed play, their name will pop up on this list. And although we all know who Bob Costas is, during the game, if a player you've never heard of pops up on that list, it's probably because he just did something important in the game or was involved in something important that happened in the game. So, right now we'll click on Bob Costas only to show that we can look at the top tweets that include Bob Costas, but that really doesn't help us see the traffic that's being generated. So by looking at all the tweets, we can see that so many users are commenting on Bob Costas. And what I've noticed is during these sporting events, if an announcer's name shows up, it's generally because people want to complain about the announcer. So that's probably what we'll see. But again, and here's Leroy Brown. We'll click on Leroy Brown. Okay, so this is an example. Leroy Brown is showing up in all these tweets. And this is a good example because Leroy Brown is a puppy who made a big play in the Puppy Bowl, which is sort of this ridiculous version of the Super Bowl played by puppies on the Animal Planet. So, as I kind of predicted there, when a player you otherwise don't know shows up, it means they've been involved in a big play. In this case, it was the Puppy Bowl. So now, coming back to these hashtags, you'll notice right here, pound Puppy Bowl. By clicking on this, it puts the hashtag up here in the search results. Again, I want to look at all tweets. And what we see is people tweeting specifically about the Puppy Bowl. And by including this character string, they're contributing to this conversation. So during the Super Bowl, if you want to contribute your thoughts, your pictures, your content, or just your commentary to specific conversations that arise, these hashtags will be trending over here. And by including the top trending hashtags in your tweet, you're contributing to some of the larger global conversations on Twitter. Now, in this case, it's the United States, so you're probably contributing to a national conversation. So, and we'll notice now that Tom Brady is trending. If we look at all tweets, we'll see that right now it's general commentary about Tom Brady, and we probably wouldn't expect to see any except the most famous players show up in the trending box until the game, when other players start to influence the game, obviously. If Tom Brady's having a bad game, that will start to show up more and more. But right now, we can expect to see maybe Eli Manning, maybe Tom Brady, and that's probably about it. So, hope this is helpful. It's always interesting to watch Twitter during times of high traffic. So the Super Bowl today will be an awesome example of that.